Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Bella the Steak and Butter Gal, and before we get started, I just want to wish everyone a happy holiday season. From getting married to getting into the best shape of my life, 2024 has been an amazing year, and I could not be more grateful to share those moments with you. Since January is World Carnivore Month, I will be celebrating the top of the new year and this amazing month with Dr. Sean Baker. He is coming to my community to celebrate World Carnivore Month with all of the members. I will also be bringing on Dr. Chafee, Dr. Robert Kiltz, Dr. Tony Hampton, Coach Rebecca Heischman, and dietitian Michelle Hearn. And you will have easy to follow weekly guides, meal plans, and recipes to ensure that January is the best month of carnivore eating for you. All you have to do to join us is go to the URL shown on the screen, sbgmeetup.com, or the clickable links are down below in the description box. See you in there. Let's first do a grocery/ingredient overview. Check out my carnivore diet grocery video. I talk about where I go to get my staples, the best products, the best brands. I'll link it down below. So at the top here, we have salmon. I love the wild caught salmon from Costco. Single serve packets, skin on. Okay, so this is a perfect carnivore staple for me. We've got raw cheddar cheese, and we've got La Gruyere. My husband needs his sauces. We've got Melinda's hot sauce, clean mustard. This one's from Sprouts. And we've got some Tabasco. Eggs should be a staple in everyone's carnivore diet, if you can tolerate them. If you have not discovered flank and short ribs, the carnivores in the community find this cut out because of my videos, because I eat it all the time. Chicken skins, beef suet, cheap, high-fat carnivore staples. We've got some raw kefir, bona fide bone broth. I will also teach you how to make bone broth in this video from scratch, so you don't have to buy this. We've got butter. Butter is great. We've got canned albacore tuna. This is specifically from Wild Planet. It's my favorite brand. No salt added. We've got some sardines, also wild caught in water. And ghee, Ghee right here, is fantastic for if you cannot tolerate butter. Ground beef probably should be a staple in all carnivore diets as well. And then oxtail, another gem of a cut of meat that I will teach you how to turn into the most jiggly, skin-loving bone broth of your life. Let's start cooking. I haven't even started cooking and Simba is already drooling. Meal number one, I'm starting off strong with my favorite fatty cut of beef in the world, flank and short ribs. Now these have been, I want to say 50% thawed. These are not the thick, boxy cut ones, and I'll put a photo. I actually never really buy those because it takes so long to cook well. These ones take minutes. So I'm going to be using my air fryer today. I just put as much as I can fit in the bottom layer, and I maximize the space by using their tier. I cut it up so I can maximize the space. I cut it into half pieces. Now my husband will push the tray in. This is literally what I use to cook my meats these days. We're going to air fry at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Perfect, and press play. And there you go. Short ribs are done. Let's take a look. Whoa. So as you can see, it turned out absolutely perfect. And by the way, I cook these in my oven all the time, and I'll usually do huge batches in my oven since it fits a lot more. And my settings on the oven is just 380 degrees Fahrenheit for a total of 40 minutes. Here's a look at how I would enjoy flank and short ribs as a full carnivore meal. I would have a side of some hearty carnivore soup, and this was inspired by my mom's cooking. She would make this all the time for us growing up, and it's egg drop meatball soup, which I will teach you guys how to make in this video later. So the flank and short ribs here, you can tell that it just is so full of fat. Such a great way to get in your high-fat carnivore meals in an easy, non-nauseating way. And a pro tip is if you eat it cold the next day as leftovers and you eat it room temperature or even straight out of the fridge, it'll be even easier to eat to get in the fats. No nausea at all. All right, for this meal, I'm going to show you how I make my chicken wings. This is the easiest recipe in the world. Just lay it in my air fryer tray, and I'm going to air fry at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for a total of 15 minutes. So this type of setting and timing is best if you love juicy chicken wings, but if you prefer crunchiness, then I would do a flash fry at the end at 450 degrees Fahrenheit, the highest setting that it goes, for 3 minutes to deliver the crunch as well. Here's a look at how I would enjoy my chicken wings as a complete meal. I personally need fat on a carnivore diet, and I am female. I still have my cycle, so fat to me is top priority. So if I'm having something a little bit leaner, I will always have a side of butter or tallow, whatever fat that I have on hand. Let's say you cannot tolerate pure fat like butter or tallow, it just makes you nauseous, then you can of course have a side of some sauces. If sauces help you eat more and more fatty meat, like this hot sauce, go ahead and enjoy it. I personally don't need any sauces because my taste buds have reset and all it wants is just pure animal foods. This raw kefir is also a great way to get in fats. It is raw unpasteurized from the brand Raw Farm. And this yogurt showing here is not as ideal because it is pasteurized, but let's say you just can't find raw dairy, then this whole fat plain yogurt is another great way to make sure you're prioritizing fats. I will show you how to make oxtail bone broth. This is the best jiggly bone broth that is so good for your skin, hair, and nails that you could ever make. And you don't have to pay premium price by buying the pre-made packaged versions. You don't have to wait for it to thaw. If it's completely frozen, it's still going to be as beautiful in the end product. So we're just gonna chuck these into our Instant Pot. There you go. This is the water that I'm using right here. It is Mountain Valley spring water. I definitely recommend using a high quality water because you will be drinking all of the soup. It's not like you're gonna be draining it. So choose a water that is high quality and one that you already rely on. Perfect amount because it just covers the meat. We don't want to put a ton of water like all the way up here because that's going to water down the flavor from the meat and the oxtail and the bone. So we want to just use enough water to cover the meat so that we get that perfect balance of flavor, collagen, and of course the fatty soup. I like my soups, my meats, my meals, everything plain because I'm 6 years in, I can enjoy the flavor as is, the way Mother Nature intended. But if you need more spice, salt, seasonings, flavor, add it in now before you close the lid. Make sure your vent is sealed. And here are the settings that I will be using. So we're going to click pressure cook right there. The timing that we are going to do is exactly 50 minutes of high pressure cooking. Okay. And we are going to start. Now, it's important that you cook for the whole 50 minutes, but also let the pressure naturally release. So really it's going to take about an hour and a half for it to be ready. Okay, so here's the finished product. Just look at that golden color. This is how you know that you're gonna get flavor in your soup and broth, and also jiggliness the next day. So this is what it looks like hot and liquid. A lot of people are confused on why it gets jiggly. It gets jiggly like this when you just put it in the fridge overnight and let all that collagen congeal and become a jello. But if you have texture problems, just enjoy it hot, nice and liquidy. I personally love the texture of this jiggliness, and the jigglier the better for me. I just think it's so refreshing. Let me know if you guys like the jiggliness or if you have a huge aversion to it. Okay, so since I did show off my favorite Costco wild caught salmon, the single serve pieces with the skin on, I thought I would just show you my go-to way to cook it. I know, again, it's in the air fryer, but a lot of people don't know to cook their salmon pieces in the air fryer. You don't need to do anything fancy, just throw it in the air fryer. And my settings, 400 degrees Fahrenheit for a total of 12 minutes. Of course, keep an eye, make sure that it's cooked through, but that usually works the best with the crispiest skin. Just hear that crispiness. I know I don't have to tell you that it can be really hard to find clean and reliable products, which is why I am just obsessed with my Tasty air fryer. I've been using this air fryer a lot. It just saves me so much time, so much cleaning and greasy meat smells and smoke in my house when I can just stick to cooking all of my meals in my air fryer. The Tasty air fryer can cook just about any meat that you want, and it can also cook it to any temperature you want because it comes with a very convenient meat probe. You just plug it in on the side of the air fryer, stick the rod into your meat, and it will literally track the temperature of your meat as it cooks. Most importantly, a lot of people are concerned about using air fryers because of the toxins. The air fryer that I use is FDA certified, PFOA and PFOS free. Right now, Tasty is offering my audience, you guys, a fantastic discount deal for $35 off your new sous chef. If you order your new air fryer before 2025, Tasty will be giving you an additional 1-year extended warranty free of charge, a beautiful set of knives and forks, and a free online recipe collection that includes some amazing recipes, including a few of my own. You can get the Tasty air fryer by going to the link on the screen, tasty.net/steakandbuttergal, and I've also linked them down below in the description box. All right, this next meal, I'm going to show you how to make my famous egg drop meatball soup, and this is one of my favorite staple meals, especially when it gets chilly and cold. So for the most flavor, we're going to have to cook our ground beef first. So here I'm just doing a loose saute. I'm not doing meatballs. However, you can if you like those cute little shapes, but I'm just doing a loose saute to save time so that it cooks really fast. And we're going to purposely overcook the ground beef a little bit so the flavor really seeps out of our ground beef. After the ground beef is done cooking, we are going to add in our liquid. This is where you can get creative. Feel free to use your favorite stock, bone broths, maybe the oxtail broth that you made with my Instant Pot recipe. Or you can just keep it simple and use plain water as the soup. I promise you the flavor is still going to be there because you're collecting all of the juices and the fats and the flavor from the ground beef. We're not draining the ground beef. We're directly adding in our water to make our egg drop soup. Okay, now for the egg drop portion of the soup, let's just prepare our eggs. You basically just beat up a couple eggs. I have 4 for the soup here, as you can see, and we're just gonna beat it up. And this is gonna provide the egg flour, you know, that beautiful, delicate egg drop flour. We're gonna pour this in at the very end. We are actually going to turn off the heat, because we want our eggs to be so delicate and floral-like. Okay, so we're gonna just do that and just make beautiful little tiny little shapes. Like that. And beautiful! Look at that gorgeousness. So there you go. That's the finished product of the egg drop meatball soup. It's technically not meatballs. Unless you cook it in big chunks, then sure, they can count as meatballs. But if you do want meatballs, like let's say you're cooking for your kid and they're going to really love the meatballs in the soup, then you can actually just form meatballs with raw ground beef and cook it after sauteing the initial ground beef batch. This also tastes so good the next day. You can just easily reheat it. Obviously, don't overcook it. Otherwise, the egg drop will not be as delicate. And again, like I showed earlier, this is how I would enjoy it, with a big, hearty, fatty meal of flank and short ribs and have this soup on the side. Okay, this meal is probably the easiest, most travel-friendly meal ever. It is my tuna salad. You only need 2 ingredients: wild-caught tuna, like shown, and yogurt. Just by mixing these 2 ingredients, you get the most delicious tuna salad ever. Use it as a dip, as a standalone meal. Put it on your burger patties as a topping. Combine it with some scrambled eggs. Such a high protein meal that also provides variety from your usual fatty beef meals. If you guys need it to be higher fat, all you have to do is add some butter and add that to the mix as well. Okay? Also, if you want even more texture, I would actually take some hard-boiled eggs that are already hard-boiled and then mix that into this tuna salad as well. It'll give such great texture. I'm just drooling thinking about it. These are the pork rinds that I got from my grocery haul video. Wow! Just look at how delicious and big these pork rind chips are. This is such a great snack for those who miss the crunchiness when they used to have it on a standard American diet. This is just chips and dip, so enjoy this as much as you need to stick to carnivore and adapt. I'm going to teach you how to make the fluffiest, fattiest egg omelet in the world. You see that? That's when you know your stainless steel pan is ready to cook magic. I usually use at least 6 eggs whenever I cook eggs scrambled. Usually I do 12, but today I'll just do a normal sized human meal. And we're gonna use ghee because ghee has a really high smoke point, which means it doesn't burn easy. So we're gonna use a generous amount of fat. The trick to the fluffiest, most delicate scrambled eggs is to actually turn off your heat when the fat has melted and coated your pan. Turn it off completely and then you pour in the raw egg mix. Again, I'm showing you pouring in the raw egg mix after turning off the heat is crucial to make sure that the scrambled egg comes out as delicate as possible. We just don't want to overcook our scrambled eggs. And now you can see that I am carefully pushing the outer corners to the middle. And I'm going to repeat doing this up until the scrambled eggs has reached the doneness that I want. Okay, I prefer mine wet. You might prefer it fully cooked through but yet delicate. Either way, you just keep repeating. Outer corner, push in, outer corner, push in, and it's literally perfect. Look at how beautiful, glossy, fatty these eggs are. When I look at this, I literally drool so hard. I wish I had this in front of me eating this while I edit, but these are perfect every time, especially when you cook it on stainless steel. This is exactly why I can eat 12 eggs at a time. You're welcome. Now, with my scrambled eggs, obviously I have to enjoy it with some meat. So here I have some on sale stew meat that I scored at my local grocery store. I think it was only $3.99 per pound. If you need budget ideas and budget meals, the best thing you can do is just score on sale meats at your grocery stores. Check out my best tips to save big as a carnivore in my grocery haul. I've linked it down below. Close the lid and again, set it and forget it. My settings for my steak bites in the air fryer, 450 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to cook for just 10 minutes because they are such small pieces. I want to show you how to make the easiest carnivore sauce. This is a hollandaise sauce. You just take whatever animal fat you have. I've got some tallow that I've collected from my meals, but today I'll show you how to make it with butter. You can also make it with ghee if you're sensitive to butter, but with butter it's going to be the most flavorful and decadent. So we're going to need some apple cider vinegar. This is going to give it that tang that is so famous in hollandaise sauce, and we're going to need some ground white pepper for that spice, and we're going to need 1 raw egg yolk. So we're going to put about 1 full tablespoon. I literally just eyeballed it, so you can too. I think I did 1 tablespoon of butter, and it has to be room temp so you can mix it well. And you're going to pour in a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, white pepper to taste, mix it up, and that is your perfect hollandaise carnivore dipping sauce. This is a great way to get in the fats if you are unable to tolerate just eating pure fat on its own, even as a topping. This is fantastic. So look at the color and crust on these steak bites. Let's plate it and enjoy it as a full meal. So for me, I won't need the hollandaise sauce. I'm probably just going to have a side of pure butter or tallow. And this is a sauce that really I make for my husband because he's a fancy schmancy picky eater. And since we're on the topic of what my husband loves for his carnivore meals, he cannot get enough of my perfect glossy scrambled eggs with his favorite hot sauce. This is his favorite hot sauce, Melinda's. It is sugar-free, good, clean ingredients. This, I feel like, is a perfect breakfast, lunch, and dinner. All right, I have another soupy, hearty meal for you guys. This I have like every other day, and when it's winter months, I just crave for this. Every time I share this on Instagram or TikTok, everybody is just mind blown. I cook my poached eggs in broth, okay? I don't mess around and do water and then I drain the water. No, I take my bone broth either from my oxtail or the Bonafide brand. I heat it to a boil and then I just directly poach my eggs in it. You really don't need rocket science or special techniques to make perfect poached eggs. all you have to do is get your broth to a boil, crack in your eggs, and then turn down the heat to medium, close the lid, cook for exactly 3 minutes, and you'll have perfect, jammy, amazing poached eggs. Again, I do not drain out the liquid that I cooked my poached eggs in. I simply just enjoy the broth that I cooked it in. And this is great because your poached eggs actually absorb that rich, amazing flavor from your broth and soups and stocks that you cook it in. And look at the jamminess right here. I am drooling so hard as I edit this video. Don't forget to share some with your dog. All right, are you ready for a fantastic Instant Pot chuck roast meal? All you have to do is get your Instant Pot on a saute setting. Click on saute, get that Instant Pot nice and hot, and then we're going to drop in about 2 tablespoons of butter into our Instant Pot. So keep the lid open. We're going to first get our chuck roast nice and browned and crusted. Melt the butter first, then drop in your entire chuck roast and just try your best to sear all of the sides, the corners, the sides, every single bit of it. Once that is nice and browned, put in about a cup of extra water in there, and then we're going to pressure cook on high for 50 minutes with a natural release at the end. As you can see, the chuck roast is still in one piece and intact, but we want to manually pull it apart so it becomes shredded beef. Here's the finished product after manually shredding it up. It is so flavorful because we did that initial sear and browned butter. Season and salt however you wish. If you like your taco seasoning or your pepper or your hot sauce, feel free to add that to the meats or at the very end as a condiment. And I want to show you this air fried Cornish hen that I featured in my Thanksgiving video. I don't want you guys to miss it because it is the easiest meal to make. To cook my Cornish hens today, I will be using my tasty air fryer, and I specifically wanted to use this air fryer because it comes with a pluggable meat thermometer. The meat thermometer will track in real time what the meat is cooking up to. This is what the meat thermometer looks like. You just take it out of its compartment, plug it into the probe hole on the side. I'm going to take my thawed Cornish hen, which I've dried down as well, stick the meat thermometer into the breast area or whatever is the juiciest, meatiest part, stick it into that area, and we're going to cook our meat. The settings that I used for the Cornish hen was by clicking the chicken and then the breast and then just hitting play. So here I basically just tracked the temperature of the meat by looking at the number on the top of the air fryer. Once it reached 165 degrees Fahrenheit, that's how I knew that the chicken was fully cooked through at the optimal temperature. 165 degrees for a Cornish hen and chicken as well is the perfect temperature to make sure that the meat is juicy and tender but not undercooked. Only took 20 minutes in my air fryer, cooked at 450 degrees Fahrenheit. No, I didn't even flip it, but you will see that it didn't even need to be flipped in the Bella's Cafe taste test at the end of this video. It was literally the juiciest, most tender chicken I have ever cooked. I will be showing you how to make carnivore Scotch eggs, crispy and charred on the outside with a delicious, juicy inside. It is, by the way, way easier to make than it looks. So let's get started. For ingredients, you're just going to need 3 hard-boiled eggs. You can also make them soft-boiled, of course, some sugar-free bacon, and about 1 pound of ground beef. I'll link all of my favorite ingredients and brands down below in the description box. We're now going to preheat our oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's first start off by making our ground beef pancake. Really flatten out that ground beef, and I just eyeballed it for mine. And then we're going to transfer it into our hands and place one of our boiled eggs into the middle of the pancake. Now we're going to carefully wrap the ground beef so that it completely wraps around the full boiled egg. We're going to take 3 strips of bacon and tightly wrap around the full ball. Here's a better view of me wrapping the bacon strips around the Scotch egg. Try your best to wrap it as tightly as you can. It's going to create a better result. I personally used a total of 3 strips for each Scotch egg. Now we're going to transfer it into a dish that you can bake with, and we're going to bake at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for a total of 25 minutes. If you like it crispier on the outside, of course, you can bake it for longer. Here's the end result. Absolutely beautiful. And let's cut down the middle to see the inside. Since January is World Carnivore Month, I will be celebrating the top of the new year and this amazing month with Dr. Sean Baker. He is coming to my community to celebrate World Carnivore Month with all of the members. I will also be bringing on Dr. Chafee, Dr. Robert Kiltz, Dr. Tony Hampton, Coach Rebecca Heischman, and dietitian Michelle Hearn. And you will have easy to follow weekly guides, meal plans, and recipes to ensure that January is the best month of carnivore eating for you. All you have to do to join us is go to the URL shown on the screen, sbgmeetup.com, or the clickable links are down below in the description box. See you in there. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. SBG out.